I'm gonna teach you how to get the business funding that you need. $50,000, $100,000, $250,000. Now listen, there's a lot of videos out there of people talking about business funding. What we're gonna talk about today is not about credit cards. A lot of people say that business funding is through credit cards, and guess what? It's not. I'm talking about true lending, all the different lending options, and the question is, well, how do we get there, right? Everyone's like, all right, well, what do I have to do? How do I build up my business credit? It's all really confusing because there's way too much information out there that is very misleading. So in today's video, I'm gonna cover all of it. From the years 2022 to 2023, I was able to acquire close to $500,000 in funding all by myself. I didn't hire any company. I didn't hire anybody to build my business credit. I did it all by myself. I also want to make you aware that the bonus depreciation on assets or equipment is going to expire on December 31st. Now, you're going to go from 60% bonus depreciation all the way to 40%. So if you're looking for that lending, you might want to consider getting it before December 31st because they have not rebuilt the actual depreciation plan yet. So we don't know what it's going to look like for 2025. So again, we're not talking about fake business funding with credit cards. No, I don't want you to liquidate any of your credit cards. That's very dangerous. So do not do that. We want to get to the real business funding, which is what? SBA loans, term loans, business lines of credit, business cash advances, equipment financing, commercial real estate, accounts receivable financing, if I could say that, and B2B revolving credit facility. All of those are what we call true business financing or true business lending. Notice how none of those were credit cards. But before we get into this video, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button so this video gets out to more people so everyone stays informed. And you better watch this till the end because I'm going to give you something special at the end that you're not expecting also. All right, so all of that sounds great, but how do we get to the money, right? That's the big question. You've probably heard people out there saying, no, you don't need to get all of those Ulines and Graingers. You don't need to get any of those. You can build your business credit without it. That's not true. You need trade lines on your credit profile. You want to have at least anywhere from a minimum of 3 to 6 trade lines reporting on your business credit profile. Because if you don't, then you're just gonna base it backed by your actual personal credit. Now understand, your personal credit needs to be in line. You're not gonna get around that. So if you haven't taken advantage of Dispute Beast, then you might want to do that if you're a business owner, because I'm going to tell you right now, you need to be well above a 700 to even get the best optimal rates for business lending. Because remember, business lending is the most riskiest lending in any industry because it's like giving a loan to a piece of paper. They're not just going to give a loan to a piece of paper. You got to have the history. You got to have the business revenue. You got to have the business to back it up. If you don't have any of that, then you're going to get little to like not very much money. What we want to do is we want to take our personal credit, mix it with our business credit, and merge that together to create this perfect triangle, just like I'm showing you right here, that is going to help you get the funding that you need. Without forming that triangle, you're not going to get true business lending. You're going to be stuck out there trying to get business lines of credit from banks, and then banks are going to see that you don't have business credit. So you have to have good personal credit, and then you have to have good business credit paired together to create that triangle. I call it the triangle of trust, okay? Now, when you're building business credit, I want you to think of it like this. It's very similar to personal credit. You have to build it up. You have to get the lines of credit. You have to build up the revolving trades. All these things have to come together on your credit profile. And like I said earlier, you need at least 3 to 6 trade lines reporting on your business credit profile at minimum, because that's going to generate and show the actual business funding options that you're going to have that you can, in fact, pay on time. Because remember, personal credit is based on paying on time, and so is business credit. Imagine that. But if you're someone that's looking for immediate funding like right now, you're going to be very limited as to what you're going to find. I was able to build my credit profile up within about 3 to 6 months. I got it started. Now that's just getting it started. I'm not saying I was done. In 1 year's time is when I started to apply for business lending. So it took me a full year of the business generating revenue, me building the credit profile, and then applying for the business funding. And guess what? I was immediately approved. My first approval was for $50,000. Now understand, there's no fast way to the finish line, but there are 2 different paths that you can choose. path number one is going to be building up your business credit profile and adding those trade lines. Now, what trade lines are we looking at? Now, understand every tier is different because there are different tiers because every different vendor is a different type of tier, meaning 30, 60, 90, or 120. So you have to start off at tier 1, then you go to tier 2, then tier 3. You don't really need to get into tier 3 and tier 4, in my personal opinion. You can go with tier 1 and 2 and then build yourself up from that point. A lot of people aren't going to tell you that, but I'm going to tell you the truth because I actually did it. So tier 1 are companies that you have to purchase something and they'll give you a net 30. So that net 30 means you have 30 days to pay that item off. I always tell everyone, you need to pay it off immediately, okay? Don't wait for the full 30 days. The faster you pay it off, the faster it's going to report, and that's exactly what we want. Now, here are some tier 1 companies that you can reach out to and you can build your relationship with them and build a business account so you can purchase things and they report it to your credit profile. Now, the first one is Quill Corp. A lot of people talk about this. Quill does report and it does do it properly. The next one is the CEO Creative. Now, the next one is the famous Uline. Now, the other one is Credit Strong. I like Credit Strong because it's basically you're just paying them to report a line of credit for you. You don't have to pay for anything else, but it just specifically reports that business line of credit and that's it. You don't have to go out there and buy a bunch of stuff like on these other companies. Now, the next one you have is Grainger. That's also other office supplies and other equipment. Then the last one is Crown Office Supplies. All of these, you can find them online and build up your own account and then apply to get a net 30 account with them. You want to build with the tier 1s for at least 3 to 6 months, 6 months at max, and then you can move on to tier 2. Now, what do tier 2s look like? You can build a tier 2 account with Home Depot. Yes, Home Depot has a net 30 and sometimes it can get you all the way up to a net 90 also. Amazon also has a business sector that can help you build business credit and give you the flexibility to purchase things with business, Amazon Business, sorry. And they actually offer Amazon Business Prime also, but I don't think it's necessary, but you have to pay for this one. Remember, all of these you're gonna have to pay for. They're not free, but some other good tier 2s are gonna be IKEA. I know you've probably never heard that, right? IKEA is a good tier 2. Verizon Wireless. Now, Exxon has a mobile fleet card. Then you have the Shell mobile fleet card. All of those are tier 2s that can help you build your business credit. But understand these gas cards are going to charge you per month to use them and report for you. So that's the little downfall to them. I'm not a fan of them because of that, but I did use the actual Exxon one and the Shell one, and it did report properly. It did help. I tested all of these, so I know that they actually are effective and they do work. So that was your option 1. Now, I didn't do all of option 1 in the beginning. Now, I started off with, I think it was Grainger actually it was Uline. I used Uline and I was like, yo, this is gonna take forever. There's gotta be another way to do this. And yes, of course there is, which is option number 2. Option number 2 is going to be Dun & Bradstreet. If you are a business owner and you have revenue, this could be the best option for you. This is exactly what I did, and I paired that up with Nav Prime. Well, at the time it wasn't Nav Prime, now it is Nav Prime. And in the beginning, it was just like Nav Business Reporting. You could purchase 2 different trade lines and then it would report to your business credit. But Dun & Bradstreet is the secret that nobody talks about. Now, I'm not being paid by Dun & Bradstreet. I'm telling you right now, honestly, I used it and it was effective. It helped make my credit score jump on the actual business side because I was using Dun & Bradstreet. Now, let me show you exactly what that looks like. Now, Dun & Bradstreet has what's called a Credit Builder Premium program. Now, I reached out to them and I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and pay for the whole year. I wanted to test it out to see exactly how it worked, and it was effective. Now, what you do is you pay for the plan. Now, I went ahead and paid for the whole year. I wasn't gonna play the whole like $199 a month. You save, I think it's like 10 or 20%. And guess what? Call and talk to somebody over the phone and negotiate the price with them because they wanna get the sale. So I was able to talk them down. I think it was like 20 or 25%. I talked price down because I said, I'm gonna pay you all in one lump sum. And of course, the guy who created my account was gonna get the credit for it. I wanna give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using Dispute Beast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created. And specifically to Wesley, Wesley's credit score went up over 226 points after just 2 rounds with Dispute Beast. And also Marcus's credit score went up 337 points after just 2 rounds with Dispute Beast. And let's not forget Richard's credit score went up 446 points after just one round with Dispute Beast. Dispute Beast is going to be pinned at the very top of the comments and in the video description for anybody that needs to fix their credit. Last part's the most important. Dun & Bradstreet will report the accounts for you, helping you build up that credit profile. Now, they're gonna walk you through the entire process to make sure that everything is in line. And we've talked about this before. Your business address, your business phone number, your website. They want to make sure that everything is presentable to get you to that business lending. That's very important to understand. All of that is in place. And then what you do is, as an example, let's say, for instance, you bought a course from me, Mike the Credit Guy, and I'm selling a business credit course and you're paying me, let's say, $100 a month. Well, that's not reporting to business credit, but here's the big but. As long as Mike the Credit Guy's program is backed by a real business that is a real LLC or a C Corp or S Corp, you get the drift, I'm an actual real business, then you, the person who bought it, can report it to the Credit Builder program, and that will help you establish that information and build that credit profile up. Anything that you purchase from any vendors, as long as they're an actual real business, you put their information in. Make sure whoever you put on that information tab is the person that's going to be contacted to verify that you did purchase the item from them or you are on some program that you're paying for, because Dun & Bradstreet will verify everything. You can't play any games because they won't report it if they feel there's any like crazy business or monkey business in there where it's not a real business. They will find out and they will not report it. What I did is I bought a bunch of different courses. I did some business with some other businesses, and I had 4 business items report with Credit Builder. And within, I would say like 60 days, it made my business credit score shoot up immediately. And now I had 4 trade lines reporting instantaneously on my business credit profile with Dun & Bradstreet. Now listen, there's gonna be a lot of haters out there gonna say, oh, Dun & Bradstreet, nobody pays attention to a Paydex, nobody pays attention to that. Yes, they do. This is exactly where they go to verify your business information, is with Dun & Bradstreet. Now, once you sign up for this program and you start to build your credit profile up, these are the items that you're gonna actually get in the program for that full year or the month service. But understand, you can't just sign up for like a month or 2 months. You have to sign up for the full year. It's an actual contract between you and Dun & Bradstreet. Now, you're gonna get unlimited access to view all Dun & Bradstreet scores and ratings, explanation of scores and ratings, industry benchmarking. You're also gonna get peer benchmarking, on-time payment history. You're gonna get alerts in email and in product. So you'll have your own login or you have your own portal to see all of your information. So it's gonna show your business credit inquiries, changes to your Dun & Bradstreet scores and ratings, new business events, trade reference company changes. Then you're also gonna get business information reports, 90-day business information reports, and then one-on-one consultations and dedicated help. To me, the one-on-one consultations was huge because they really break it down to you and really make you focus on the things that matter. Not like all this nonsense that all these people are talking about out there. This is what matters. Talking to them and having a business professional help you get to that point, which is the lending. Now, with this program, it's gonna allow you to report up to 10 different trade lines. Now, remember, the name of the game is you having the ability to report those business transactions that you did with other businesses. If you haven't done any, this is not for you. Don't do it. Don't waste your money. You have to plan ahead. That's exactly what I did. So remember, I used this Dun & Bradstreet, and then I also used Nav, which is now Nav Prime. Now, at the time, you could only report up to 1 business trade line with programs that they had before, but now Nav Prime has completely been revamped, and I feel it's more powerful. So I took the actual Dun & Bradstreet Credit Builder and I paired it up with Nav, and then that helped me shoot up. I think it was between 4 to 6 business lines of credit that I was reporting, or business trade lines. Sorry, business trade lines. They weren't business lines of credit. They're business trade lines. That helped me shoot up. But with Nav Prime, of course, yes, you're gonna pay a fee. With Nav Prime, I believe it's $49.99 a month, and until the end of December, you can get it for 30% off. Okay, so remember that, only till the end of December, using my link in the video description. Now, what you're gonna get is your first trade line with Nav Prime is your membership payment. So the plan of Nav Prime is going to report as a trade line. Your second trade line is when approved for the Nav Prime card. So you're gonna get 2 items that are helping you build credit. You're also gonna get your established business credit profiles with all major credit bureaus, 3 business credit scores, and the Nav Nav Business checking account. So if you're looking for a checking account, you'll get that with the Nav Prime. But you'll also get 5 detailed business personal credit reports updated every month, real-time credit alerts, credit trends and insights to track progress over time, and automated bookkeeping tools that are going to be inside of your checking account. So I took both of those products and I built that up for at least a minimum of a year. So the moment my business turned into 1 year of business, I was like, you know what, man? I was like, let's go ahead and apply for some lending, see what we can get. And that's when we got approved for the $50,000 loan. Every business situation is going to be different, but the main factors here are revenue. If you're not generating any revenue, banks aren't just going to give you free money. And this is why people go to the lending option the business funding option. It's not a lending option, but the business funding of liquidating credit cards, because they don't have any revenue. You need generated revenue. You need an established business. I know that with my personal credit being right underneath an 800 credit score, then pair that with my business credit being at top tier, I can walk into any lending situation because I have tax documents. I have personal documents of all my information. I have my business P&Ls. I have all that information behind me. I can walk into any lending situation and get anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 because my business backs up the lending. If you don't have the revenue to back it up, you're not going to qualify for just anything that you think you would qualify for. I also cannot stress enough to you that you need to make sure that your NAICS code is in line. That is the code that is used to determine what industry you are in with your business. Do not pick a risky code or a risky industry, because that can cause you to be very limited in any lending options you may have, even if you're generating revenue, because banks or lending institutions don't want to risk it if you are a high risk industry. Now, what are some of the better lending options? SBA loans are always going to be some of the best options out there, but you also have bridge loans to SBA funding also. Those are huge. But when you start building business credit, we want to build up what's called our SBSS credit scores. So very similar to your personal side, the FICO score is all that matters on your personal side, not your Credit Karma score. On the business side, you need to focus on your FICO SBSS score. So I'll read it right here verbatim. There's a FICO credit score designed just for small businesses, the FICO SBSS score. Banks, business credit card issuers, and other lenders may use it to help make lending decisions. The U.S. Small Business Administration, the SBA, requires lenders to use this score to pre-screen borrowers for some of the SBA loans it insures. Now, just as your personal FICO credit scores impact your ability to secure financing, your business FICO SBSS score can impact your ability to get small business financing. But this goes really deep. A lot of people jump into the business credit sector and they go after the business credit cards, not understanding, oh, why do they only give me $1,000 or $2,000? Like, why is that? Because you have no business credit established. If you would have applied to an American Express credit card after you establish your business credit, and you apply for that American Express business credit card or the Chase business credit card, but American Express specifically, they would have given you a higher limit if you had business credit already established. So people get mad when they get into the business credit card sector and they're like, they're not giving me any money because you have no business credit. So 3 places that you want to make sure that all your business information is accurate and complete is going to be Dun & Bradstreet. We talked about that before. You want to get your DUNS number for free. Your Experian business account, you want to make sure everything's in order. Now, that's not going to, you actually have to pay for that. You're not going to get that for free. Just be aware of that. Now, also your Equifax business score. You want to make sure everything's right there. Those 3 right there are going to be the backbone of your business credit profile. Now, Nav Prime will give you access to all of these credit reports, but in order to actually build up and monitor it directly with those actual credit reporting agencies, you have to pay for it as a business owner. Just be aware, it's not free. Now, Dun & Bradstreet will give you your free number, and then you can register all of your information for 100% free. But if you do the credit builder, it's going to open up a whole wide array of different things that will help you build your business credit, as we talked about earlier. But your Experian business and your Equifax business, you have to pay to see those reports directly and to gain access into the system to make any changes. Unfortunately, this is how it works. Now, if you're out there and you need business funding, I put together a business funding team for all types of different business funding. So what they'll do is they will do a soft inquiry to see what you qualify for as a business owner and all of your business information. Now, what the team team is really going to be looking for, of course, like I said earlier, a high personal credit score and a business that is already set up and functioning and has business credit, of course. But if you're not going to meet both of those, they can also see what type of lending you can potentially qualify for. Remember, there's no hard inquiry. You do want to make sure that you have at least 4 months of bank statements for your business, and you should have a business checking account, so you can just pull those statements down and then you'll supply that in the application process. But if you do get any type of lending, if you decide to accept the lending option and you move forward, there is going to be a hard inquiry. It is going to do a soft pull from Experian, and then once you accept it, then there'll be a hard pull through Experian also. If you're ready to move forward and see what type of funding options you have, make sure to comment funding, and I will make sure to drop the link in the comments section for anybody that needs to apply to see what kind of business funding they may need to get or what they qualify for. I will also drop the links for Nav Prime and Dun & Bradstreet in the video description for anyone that needs it to help build up their business credit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered another big one on how to build your business credit profile up properly to get you to business funding. Now make sure that you watch this next video because it is about another credit union that you may want to learn about. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.